Trusting the people you work with enough to exchange ideas. Trusting the people you work with enough to make suggestions or even to criticize. Wishing their success even as you wish your own. That's what good working relationships are made of.
And being sensitive to the feelings of others, that's the single most important part of a high emotional IQ.
What is this, Tom? Who said this was any of your business? You're trying to get me in trouble.
Look, there's nothing to get so mad at me about, all right? Just because you keep messing up.
Me? I messed up? Aren't you the genius who ordered the wrong parts?
And on they go. Conflicts at work are never a good idea, but sooner or later, they happen. Here's where your emotional intelligence skills can get you out of a tough situation.
There's a process that works really well if you have to deal with an angry person. Here's how it could work for Tom in his argument with Sarah.
Look at this note I got from the boss, Tom. Who said this was any of your business? You're just trying to get me in trouble.
The first step is not to lose your own temper. Next, suggest you both sit down. It's harder to come across as angry when you're both seated.
Look, I can see we need to talk about this, all right? Just take a seat.
See if you can get the person to speak more slowly. That lowers the temperature.
I told you I was going to call Joe before I finished, and you said that...
Whoa, you're talking too fast. I can't get it. Just try and slow down a little, okay?
It's important for Tom to acknowledge how upset Sarah is, so she doesn't have to keep on trying to convince him. Then he can go on from there.
You really are mad. I can see that.
Remember, this is work. Unless you're the boss, you can't fire somebody you have a problem with. What you two have to do is get along. And if Sarah is still too upset to have a rational discussion, don't try to have one. Create a cooling off time.
Look, we have to settle this, but I need some time to think it over. How about we let it go until tomorrow when we can really talk?
What you're aiming for, of course, is to get both of you calmed down enough to settle whatever it is. Here are some things that don't work.
Accusing. Every time I need to talk to you, you're on the phone with that girlfriend of yours.
Sarcasm. It must be wonderful to know you're right no matter what everybody else says.
Globalizing. You always think your work is all that matters. You never stop to think somebody else's work may be important too.
Threatening. If you're going to work on that with Ben Farley, you can forget about working with me.
When you're trying to settle a conflict on the job, here are some things that do work.
Understand the problem. Maybe I'm not quite getting it. Let me be sure I understand where you're coming from.
Consider the other person's position. So you think it's better to work overtime than ask for extra help.
Be willing to change. I'll try it your way and see if it works better. And if it does, it's fine with me.
Brainstorm. Let's not get stuck on one solution. The way I see it, we need as many ideas as we can get.
Be willing to compromise. What's going to make this work out is if we each give a little, get a little.
Asking for a raise. It's never easy, but here's where high emotional IQ can really pay off.
You'll need to be sensitive to your boss's feelings, to what he expects of you, to understand what's going on in the company that may affect you, to the clues you've picked up about how your work is viewed. Now is the time to put that emotional IQ to work.
You bet I'm asking for a raise. I mean, they want me to take care of Jack McElroy's letters and still do Ann Simon's? That's doing 2 jobs and getting paid for 1.
Wrong. Sarah's boss will never see it that way. He knows Ann Simons does most of her correspondence now by email. As far as he's concerned, Sarah now has half a job, and working for Jack McElroy will be the other half. She won't get the raise by insisting she's doing 2 jobs, but she will convince her boss she doesn't understand the job she has.
Hey, I'm going into Harris's office right now and ask for a raise.
I don't know. They say we're having a real bad spring. Did you hear they laid off Joe Samuelson in shipping?
Well, sure, I heard. But the way I figure it, when things are bad, better go ask for a raise before anyone else does.
Wrong. When things are changing, maybe the business is going through a slump or has a new owner, it's a good time to let the dust settle. You'll just add to the stress by making demands, and at the same time demonstrating that you have poor judgment.
My review's coming up, and it better have a raise attached to it. I'm letting them know I'm ready to go job hunting if it doesn't.
Bad. Threatening is a sure way to make your boss resent you and can easily end not in a raise, but in your unemployment.
Are there right ways to ask for a raise? Sure. Think about your boss's needs, about how you think she sees your performance. Focus on what you've accomplished.
I'm putting together a list of what I accomplished this year. I know I got the orders out faster and more accurately, and I filled in when Ashley was in the hospital. Now I'm learning that new program accounting wants to use. That should give me some talking points.
It probably will. Joni has organized what she wants to say so she won't stammer or leave things out. She's made her approach positive, and she's focusing on the work.
My review was due a week ago, but I know with the big boss in from Chicago, everybody's a little bit jumpy. So I know it'll be smart of me to wait till things calm down before I ask about it.
Right. Daryl gets points in emotional IQ for being sensitive to the atmosphere at work. He can only gain by waiting and not putting pressure on people who are already stressed. Timing is important.
That's pretty much what raising your emotional IQ is all about. And here's some final words.
Smile.
Stay out of office politics and gossip.
Participate on the company softball team, in company picnics.
Stay away from negative criticism. That means your coworkers, the boss, the company.
Take advice.
And think about your own emotional IQ.
It matters.